Hello friends, Lit eCity channel welcomes you all back. Hope your preparation for NTA NET English is going well. We are back with another absorbing session, exciting session with a sort of mock practice for the coming exam. And in today's particular session, we will talk about 20 questions based on English poetry. Most of the question belongs to the poets and works related of 20th century and some earlier work also. I hope the session will be very useful for you people. So this is our first question. Were a group of 19th century American poets who wrote in conventional poetic forms about domestic themes and moral issues. You have to find out the name of this particular group of American poets, early American poets. They were writing about domestic themes. Our options are the Fireside Poets, the Parnassians, the Castilian Band, and the last option is the Domestics. All these are name of the group, certain groups of the poetry, and the correct answer for this particular question, that the group of American poets writing about domestic theme, is the Fireside Poets, which includes poets like Henry Wordsworth Longfellow, William Cullen Bryant, James Russell Lowell, Oliver Wendell Holmes, and John Greenleaf Whittier. Our second question is, who published the Shepherd's Calendar, which was published in 1827, composing a poem for each month of the year celebrating of rural life. Now dear friends, you must have heard about the Shepherd's Calendar composed by Edmund Spenser, but even in year 1827, another poet attempted to write such sort of Shepherd's Calendar, obviously inspired by Spenser. Our options are Robert Southey, Hartley Coleridge, son of S.T. Coleridge, John Clare, and William Barnes. Out of these options, the poet, rather the minor poet of the Romantic age, it was John Clare who wrote the Shepherd Calendar and tried to imitate, tried to present the rural and rustic scene just as Wordsworth was doing. The Song of the Shirt. It is a protest poem which basically presents a sort of voice of the oppressed or voice of the, we can say, marginalized people about the inhuman working condition of London's lower class workers. And the poem uses a female seamstress life as its central theme. Now, who is the poet of this poem of, we can say, rebel or protest? Was it Emily Bronte, Eliza Cook? Was it Thomas Hood? And the last option is Elizabeth Carter. Once again, these poets, rather minor poets, but these such poems are very important. And the correct answer, the poet of the Song of the Shirt, is Thomas Hood. The very famous lines of this poem: with fingers weary and worn, with eyelids heavy and red, a woman sat in unwomanly rags. These are some of the very important lines, one of the few early poems which focused on the plight of these lower class, or we can say working class people. Our next question is from America. Who is the Pulitzer Award winning poet of famous collections like Homies to Mistress Bradstreet, 77 Dream Songs, His Toy, His Dream, His Rest? And the options are Robert Lowell, second option is Annie Sexton, third option is W.D. Snodgrass, and the last option is John Berryman. So dear friends, the very famous poet who won Pulitzer Award more than once, writer of this famous collection of poems Homies to Mrs. Bradstreet, is John Berryman, one of the most popular and major poets of modern America or 20th century. Which among these poems deals with tension immigrants feel when trying to adjust to life in a new country? without forgetting where they come from. So it's a very postmodern and post-colonial poem in which the voice of the immigrant is tried to present itself, their dilemmas and their problem. Is it the unwritten letter from my immigrant parent by Munna Abdullahi? Or is it Search for My Tongue by Sujata Bhatt? Is it House of a Thousand Doors by Meena Alexander? And last option is Look We Have Coming to Tower by Daljit Nagra. All four writers are abroad-based writers who have roots somewhere else. Last three, they are based in India. And the correct answer is Search for My Tongue by Sujata Bhatt. And the once again, popular lines. You ask me what I mean by saying I have lost my tongue. I ask you, what would you do if you had two tongues in your mouth and lost the first one, the mother tongue, and could not really know the other, the foreign tongue? So it presents the dilemma of an immigrant when he or she starts living in another community. Our next question talks about in which poem considered as one of his finest poems, Allen Ginsberg mourns his mother Naomi and also reflect the poet's sense of loss at his estrangement from his religion. Is it Howl or The Fall of America or Kaddish or Wichita Vortex Sutra? All these are very popular poems of Ginsberg, but the correct answer, the poem mourning his mother, is Kaddish, which is basically dedicated to Naomi Ginsberg. You do not do any more black shoe. These are famous, controversial opening lines of which famous poems by Sylvia Plath? Is it Daddy or Lady Lazarus? Is it Tulips? And the last option, the Munich Mannequins. We all know, we all must have this knowledge about the poetry of Sylvia Plath, which is confessional, which is controversial, which lay bares her torn psyche. These famous lines actually are the opening lines of very controversial and famous poem Daddy, which the first stanza goes like, you do not do any more black shoe in which I have lived like a foot for 30 years, poor and white, barely daring to breathe or achoo. You can see uncomfortable position of the narrator, which is supposed to be the poet herself. The term cyclic poets is used in reference to, our first option is the poets who wrote on the biblical stories. Second, the poets who were inspired by Homer and composed epics on the Trojan War. Next, the poets who wrote on the Arthur cycle. And the last one, the wandering English poets of the Middle Ages. So this term cyclic poets, actually it refers to the poets who were inspired by Homer, and they were, we can say, later contemporaries of Homer. They were Greek poets and they composed epics on themes borrowed from Homer and tried to write about these war heroes, war tragedies of war fought at Troy. Deconstructing the traditional beliefs regarding beauty, Standing Female Nude is an interior monologue in which there is a female model and she is responding to the male painter. Who is the poet of this very, very path-breaking and radical poem? Is it Annie Stevenson or Wendy Cope, Carol Ann Duffy or Carol Rumens? And the correct answer for this very vociferous feminist poem is Carol Ann Duffy, the poet laureate. She is poet laureate also, and she has wrote about many issues related with women and their representation in arts. Slave Song is a remarkable and award-winning collection of poems expressing frustration of African slaves and displaced Indian laborers, and they are written not in English but Guyanese Creole. Now, who is the poet? Once again, the options are John Aggard, David Dabydeen, then we have E. A. Markham and James Barrie. All these four writers are prominent voices of, we can say, West Indies diaspora writing, West Indies identity. Slave Song, this particular collection is actually written by David Dabydeen. Our next question is, one would think the man had been hired to spy upon me. Now, who is that particular writer or poet who stated this remark with respect to his biographer? Was it Alexander Pope or Ted Hughes? Then we have options Oscar Wilde, and the last option is Dr. Johnson. And dear friends, the correct answer, the person who thought that he was basically spied upon by his biographer is Dr. Johnson. We know very well it was James Boswell who has written a remarkable biography of this great man of letters, who first used the term lake poets in a derisive manner for Wordsworth, Coleridge and Southey. Who was that particular critic or poet critic who used this in their reference? Was it Charles Lamb? Our next option is Francis Jeffrey, William Godwin, and last John Lockhart. They all, other than being a writer, essayist and poets, they all were critics also. And the correct answer for this is Francis Jeffrey in his very famous work on the Lake Poets, Revolution and Romanticism. Dubbed as the father of nonsense, who is the writer of famous poems like The Owl and the Pussycat and Jumblies. These are, we can say, limericks and nonsense words. We should know that nonsense work is also a very popular, though sub-genre of poetry. The options are Edward Lear, Louis Carroll, Colin West and A.E. Housman. Dear friends, they have composed, in fact 2 or 3 are majorly known for their nonsensical words, but the present poem, The Owl and the Pussycat and the Jumblies, it is composed by Edward Lear, and The Owl and the Pussycat is one of the favorite rhymes of which is of the or complete Western countries. Who is the writer of famous Antiqua poem 1811, first written and published in 1812, which criticizes the arrogance of the British Empire and warning its waning soon? Was it Charlotte Lennox, or was it Anna Letitia Barbauld, or was it Emily Bronte? And the last option, Mary Wollstonecraft. These 4 ladies, they were torchbearer for women writing during, we can say, the early half of 19th century. It was, dear friends, Anna Letitia Barbauld who composed this very popular and very influential poem of the time. The sonnet, Sir No Man's Enemy, also known as the petition poem. It is a classical example of modern poem in its technique, style and content. All these have modern treatment. The titular Sir, it is a vague thing, whether it is love, death or something else. Now, who is the poet of this famous poem? Whether it is G.M. Hopkins, Rainer Maria Rilke, or is it Ted Hughes, and the last option, W.H. Auden. So dear friend, it is actually Auden who wrote this poem, and these are the opening lines. Sir, no man's enemy, forgiving all, but will his negative inversion be prodigal? Modern Love, it is a collection of 50 quasi-sonnets. Quasi because they all are of totally of 16 lines each. They deal with the poet's disillusionment and miserable experience with his first marriage. Now, who is the poet? This particular writer has written about failure of marriage, not only in this particular autobiographical collection but also in his novels. Was it George Meredith, Thomas Hardy, Oscar Wilde, or W.B. Yeats? Dear friend, it was basically George Meredith who basically wrote these poems, and in these poems he showed his disappointment with the institution of marriage as his first wife forsake him. I have had playmates, I have had companions in my days of childhood, in my joyful school days. Thus opens one of the most famous poems of the Romantic age. Who is the poet? Now the options are Wordsworth, who many times talk about the blissful days of his childhood. William Cooper, once again known for his nostalgia. Is it Thomas Gray? He has also written nostalgic poems. And Charles Lamb, he has also written some poems and works in which he has presented his nostalgia with the past. But the right answer is Charles Lamb, and the name of the poem is The Old Familiar Faces, one of the most important work of Romantic age, one of the most popular work of Romantic age. Which among these lines are used by T.S. Eliot as epigraph or epigraphs for his poem, very famous poem, The Hollow Man? Is it Mr. Goods, he dead? This is the dead lad, a penny for the old guy. Now the option is only first and second. Second option is only first one. Third option is first and third, and last option is only second one. Actually, dear friends, the correct answer is first and third, because these two, the first one taken from Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, and A Penny for Old Guy, which is a popular saying in Britain during Guy Fawkes Day, when children goes and collect money to burn his effigies. Guy Fawkes was basically charged with trying to put a bomb or fire on Parliament. This is the dead land. This is actually one of the lines from the poem itself. So first and third is the correct answer. Lowlands movement is a term associated with Irish poetic renaissance of 20th century, Scottish poetic renaissance of 20th century, Welsh poetic renaissance of 20th century, and A and B, Irish and Scottish poetic renaissance of 20th century. Actually, friends, Lowlands movement is Scottish poetic renaissance of 20th century, and the major name associated with this particular movement is Hugh MacDiarmid, who tried to write in a new sort of, or we can say hybrid sort of Scottish language, and that Scottish language he called a kind of Lowlands language. Edwin Muir, another writer who basically write in English, but he supported also, and then Edwin Morgan, which was considered to be the first official Scottish marker by the Society of Poetic Encouragement in Scotland. So it is associated with the Scottish Poetic Renaissance. Which famous poem of Ted Hughes open with these lines? I imagine this midnight moment's forest. Something else is alive. Beside the clock's loneliness and this blank place where my fingers move. Now the options are The Hawk in the Rain, Jaguar, The Thought Fox, and The Crow, Blacker Than Ever. We all know that Ted Hughes, he basically write about animals in a very, we can say, ruthless manner, presenting their basic energy. And the poem we are talking about is Thought Fox, in which this fox is actually a metaphor for the art of writing poetry, or we can say poetic creation art. So this is the right answer. Okay, dear friends, that's all for today's session. I hope these 20 questions have freshen up your mind with your preparation, and please think about it. Keep supporting our channel and videos and suggesting what can we do to make them better. Thank you, friends.